Connecting to the cloud server. All right, welcome to BFree Monday, guys. And tonight is going to be a pretty high energy session. We've got the annual celebration and the Vegas recap. So we've got Joe Boost, who's a physio that joins us. We've got Dimity, who's just a pocket rocket of energy. We've got the Lovies, who you've obviously met before. And we've also got Reese and Rach, who have been cruising around California and probably some of the best beaches on the West Coast. And they're going to share their insights as well. So what I'd love to do is if any questions come up, can you just plug away in the chat box? We want to make this a two-way conversation. Obviously, the leaders, they're just going to give smack bam energy in 5 minutes and simplify a lot of obviously it was a massive 3, 4, 5 day event over there. So they're just going to share their pearls of wisdom. But if any questions come up, shoot away in the chat box and the leaders can answer as they go. So we don't want to make this very one directional. We want to make it a two-way conversation. So first person I'm going to, if we can take off mute, we'll start with you, Joe, and I will unmute you. So, you unmute yourself. Here we go. All righty.
Hello. Sorry, I feel sorry for everyone today. I'm quite high vibing right now, just after the last call. So apologies if I get a bit excited about everything. But thank you for having us on. We have our other team calls on as well tonight, so that's why we've not been able to jump on your calls as much recently. But some of my big takeaways from Vegas. So Vegas, 15,000 people in a room. So can you imagine the Isogenics Australia events, that on steroids? I don't even know how to explain it. And for me, it was such a last minute trip that it was just this, it makes you realize how big Isogenics is and this opportunity that we have. But going to go into my top points and my biggest takeaway for you all. So has anyone here downloaded the celebration recap or watched it live? Did any of you manage to watch it live at all? Some of you, yeah, okay, cool. So I think that's still available from back office, so you can still access the celebration, the whole recap, so you can sit and watch it. And that's something even myself I'm going over, because we know with these events they're a bit of a poof, and you know what's happened. But some of my biggest takeaways was Angelique Norrie did an amazing piece on your why and getting clarity with your why. And my why has always been, I don't want to have to go back to work when I'm a mum, kids in a few years, and I don't want to have to go back to full-time physio. And that's always been my why. But has it really been a why? Because if we are not clear with set goals, if we are not clear with why and when we want to, and how real we're being with ourselves of how much we have to do to achieve that, then is that really your why for doing this? Or is it just something that kind of you say? So for me, that was a huge thing. And I came back and which by the way, Angelique is at summer kickoff. So get your butt there, because she will change your world. Because she did for me this piece. I came home and I wrote up my why, put it on a huge vision board. And actually for me, it's become a reality now. I want to have kids in the next few years. If I don't actually get my butt down, have those conversations, then I'm not going to be able to achieve what I want to achieve. And all of you are here and are doing this because you have a why and you have a goal that you want to achieve. And we all know from the training done by Lisa that it comes down to those conversations. So if you're not doing the amount of conversations that match how big your why is, and whether it's a ranking level or retiring, you're not going to be able to achieve that. So that was something that really dug deep to me, is getting clarity on your why. My second thing was Michael Klaus. Yeah, Michael Klaus was hilarious. He was great. He did a bit on a thing called egg, which I think Dim is going to touch on. But one thing which Michael Klaus did and said was, you can't offer a solution if you don't know their problem. Now, a lot of the time we start trying to give people this solution of this cleanse and these amazing products they can use, but we've not actually found out what their issue is. So we have to dig deep to find out their problem, ask questions, work out what it is that they've got going on before we work out what solution we can offer them. And, that's something I realized. I have a solution, but I've not actually got to the real person's problem yet. And I'm trying to give them the solution, but they've not uncovered their problem enough for me to then insert my solution and how I can help them. So have a think of that when you're having conversations. have I uncovered the for this solution? Because if you haven't, then they're obviously not going to say yes because they don't have a problem. My third one, I can't remember what my third one was that I wrote down. I've completely lost it. Oh yes, the leaders. So there was a panel of boss ladies. And we're obviously trying to build consultants, we're trying to build managers, we're trying to build a team, we're trying to share this vision with people. But if you're getting them to do it, you have to do it. So if you're telling someone to get to consultant, you have to create a consultant in the same time frame as them. If you're telling someone to get to manager, you have to get yourself to manager at the same time. And it's so true, because if you're a momentum and you're moving together, you're going to move forward as a team. The amount of time we try and spend creating consultants and telling our other leaders to do things, but if we're not doing them self, how can we lead and be that example for that person, and how can we grow our business? Ta-da! Thank you very much.
All right, that's epic. So it was simple as that. Like, it was connecting with your why and really why you're doing it. Have the conversations to match what the real why is, and then I guess building on those other the second 2 points. You talk about the egg with Eric Worre, or was it Eric Worre that you mentioned?
Michael Cloud.
And the last point was, I've forgotten that one as well, but it was awesome. So light up the chat box, anything that Joe, I think that, just make sure my internet connection is good. So anything that Joe's helped you with, just light it up, show her some love, because she's obviously taking time out of her day, and obviously share anything, keep it going. Now we're gonna keep this energy going, and we're gonna hand over to the pocket rocket that is Dimity. So I'm gonna take you off mute. And Dim, you got five minutes, far away. What is the takeaways that you got from your 12 days in Vegas?
What happens in Vegas doesn't have to stay in Vegas is what I'm going to say. But my biggest one is can stay consistent with your 3x3x3. And for me, I always try to do 20, 20, 20, and then do it for like 3 days, getting this sense of overwhelm and basically don't want to touch my inbox because it's got over 150 unread messages. So if you stay consistent with just 3 loves, 3 follow-ups, 3 new connections, over a 90-day period, I did the maths, that is over 270, over a 90-day period, 3 connections a day, that's 270 new people that you're connected with. So if you think about long-term, it's pretty awesome to know by little things, it adds up to be massive numbers. So don't think that you have to go smash out 20 numbers in a single day, just simple 3x3x3. That was a massive takeaway for me. Changing your state in 90 seconds, Tony Robbins, boom, click of the fingers, state change, do your power stance, whatever that may be, give a little yes, and just know that basically you get the choice of how long you can drag out a negative vibe in your life. So for me, I had some haters on myself last night on social media. I chose in 30 seconds, not 90, 30, to change that state, and I enrolled a girl within that minute. So you get that choice of how long you want to stay in that state. And the last one is about the Michael Klaus egg thing. And I often do this, and basically it is assuming that people know exactly what they know. So for me, we always talk about like, oh, go talk to people. Yeah, sick. If you're an introverted person who's quiet, who doesn't like to talk to anyone, they're not going to go out and like talk to the cafe owner. So you have to actually explain to people, break it down, be really, really simple. Like I've given my team that sign now. You just yell out egg when you're just like so confused about me going rapid. Because obviously I talk a lot and very fast, but I always just let them know, shout out the egg, and I know to stop, pause, and actually break it down a little bit more. And also when we are talking about like posting on social media, actually sit down and write out a 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 posts that they can do. Like I know for me on the weekend, I asked a girl to write 3 posts. And I said, go and screenshot 10 people, go follow these 5 people and go screenshot all of their stuff that vibe with you. And we will dictate what we're going to post on social media. So actually giving people a nourishment of your soul and what you're good at. and then taking them to the next step. Keep on taking them to the next step. Hold their hands. It's a lot of work. Sometimes it feels like that, but then you might find an awesome rock star like the Lovies or myself who you like don't need to do anything with, and they'll just do it because that's just who they are. But you got to match people for where they're at. I'm out.
Boom. All right. Tim, if that's okay, Joe just did it as well. If you could just write down those points that you put there in the chat box, that would be epic. And again, show Dim some love. It's pretty much meet people where they're at. The egg. It's so true. And you will find those people that you don't need to drag. So, and shifting the energy is such a massive one, Tim. So thanks again for reminding me of something that I think we all need to do on a daily basis, and we all get it. So that's epic. What I'm going to do now, I am going to hand over. I'm going to invite I think I said Reese and Rach will go next. So Rach, and if Reese is with you, if you guys can take yourself off mute, I'll take yourself off mute now and take it away. Share some takeaways from you guys. I think you got 4 or 5 each, so fire away.
Hola. How are we, guys?
Hola.
Reese is here. He's enrolling someone, so I'll let him do that. Yeah, cool. So a celebration. This was our second one, which was really cool. It was huge. It was crazy how many people were there. It was really good. The vibe was just like electric. It was so awesome to just be surrounded by all those people again. It was really something I was needing after being, traveling and just hanging out. And I kind of missed my community, so it was good to get back into that. But I guess the biggest things I took from celebration was from Laura Stevens. I really like her. She's got a really cool vibe. And she was talking about creating a community, and that's what she really longed for, and that's what she did. And if you're not sure of her story, like go YouTube her, because she's really cool and she's really good at speaking and what she does. So she sort of talked about linking arms with people who want more, who dream more, and community starts with you. So she really went for it. Like her husband was I think he was in the army or something, and so she has 3 kids, so she did it all on her own, but she really collaborated with people. So she really created a culture. So she was doing like Taco Tuesdays and getting people to events like that, sweat and sip parties. Like she had heaps of random examples, which was really cool. And then giving your team incentives as well, which is a really good thing. We've sort of started to do in amongst our downline. So the first people who enroll 2 people, will send them a water bottle or prize packs or anything like that. That's if you can, if you want to invest in that. But she's super creative. She gave me heaps of ideas of like really cool things to do. Handwritten notes, for your top enrollers for the month or, the quarter, you can pay for their plane ticket to an event. So that was sort of like incentives within her team and creating that community with people and getting them to do the same thing. What else? Oh, and just in regards to social media, she just said she watched people who are really successful, like Audrey and Emily and Hayden Babra, and she just learned what they did and she just copied what they did. So I recently went and followed all of the top enrollers. What are their names? Oh, having a mind blank. Anyway, all of the top enrollers, if you go to ISA FYI and you go to recognition, it has all the top names of all the people. And I just went to every single one of their Facebooks and followed them. No, I didn't add them as a friend. I just followed them, and I can just see exactly what they're posting and just copy what they do. So that was a really cool thing I took from that. What else? I got a good one from Andrew Logan as well. He was pretty cool. He was talking about connecting. I hope this is not too random, so sorry.
All good. That's good.
Andrew. So he was really cool. He was talking about connecting, and he just asked a lot of questions. What's going to be easier for you? So when he's enrolling people, he actually asked them, is it going to be easier for you to have chocolate or strawberry? So giving really specific, do you want it to be sent to your home or to your work? Do you want to do it alone or together. So he really like delves deep and asks a lot of questions. What else did he say? Simplicity with the business and enrolling and all that. And it's so much easier to coach people who are ready than to drag people who aren't, which is a really big thing we've learned in the past 3 years is like, you know, if people aren't ready, it's okay to just let them go and you know, work with the people who are willing. So yeah, and obviously Tony Robbins was amazing as well, but the girls covered, you know, a lot of his stuff. So yeah, Reese, what you got?
Thanks, Rach. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, so
So you guys have smashed it and covered so much, so I don't want to repeat. But there's one thing, and Dim just touched on it then, was about, you know, your vibe attracts people. So I've noticed every time I go to an event, I always get inboxed a few enrollments. And I always think to myself, like, why is this? Like, and I feel like it's because I go to the event, your energy lifts, your focus, you know, you attract what you put it out there, you know. So the whole Tony Robbins thing, just trying to keep yourself in that state. So, you know, we did an exercise with him, basically screamed for 3 hours straight. It was crazy, but why not? Like, why not do that and you're at home, turn the music up and get crazy to lift your vibe and, you know, just change that state of energy. And so that was really cool. I've noticed just my conversation since being home, it's been so much more. You can see people lighting up with inspiration. They want to do it, as opposed to before the event. There's been a bit of a shift there, so it's cool. Yeah, and then I think Rob touched on it. I don't know if you've spoken yet, I've been enrolling, but 2,000 to 3,000 conversations. If you want to be a successful and a big business builder in this, it's all about the numbers. So just reinforce that. So yeah, I mean, we spoke about this, Rob and Rhea Love, about, you know, they wrote a 250 list and their plan was just to call them and conversations about the business. And I guess if you want to really get those 10 business builders, leaders on your team, you just got to do it quick and get straight into it. And the other thing was, Kylie Donaldson touched on it, and a few people touched on it at the event, was not disempowering people. So really looking after people in their first month, getting really good results, showing them everything they need to know. And then in the second month, sort of detaching a little bit and putting the power in their hands and showing them where to find it. So rather than just spoon feeding them everything, hey, this is a link to this article and this is what you need to read here. It's like, no, you go find it. There's a search tab, and to empower them so they understand the business, so they know where to find things, and then they can then go on and teach other people that. So Rach touched on that as well, because we definitely baby people way too much. So that's kind of our new approach, but do it with love and respect, and yeah, see how it goes.
That's epic, guys. And just quickly, how was the like, I know you guys were traveling and working as you went down the coast, so obviously you're living the dream as well as, you know, working and doing this on the side. So how are you finding, just from your point of view, this sort of business fits into your lifestyle at the moment?
To be honest, it's really hard in the States to travel and work because of the time difference. When you're getting up, where you're going to bed, so it was really hard, and everyone kept thinking we're on a holiday. Yeah. And they're like, no, go have fun. We'll talk when you get back. And we're like,
weird.
No, we want to travel and work. It's our thing, is what we want to do.
Yeah.
So it was really hard in that point of view because people's mindsets aren't on the fact that you can work and travel.
Yeah.
So that was hard. But yeah, it was amazing. We met some amazing people.
Yeah.
You know, got a lot of people interested in isogenics and a few starting, which is really cool. But we never went in there with the intention of starting anyone. We're just rolling with it. We just love it, so we're just sharing that, and it's been really cool.
That's so crazy because I was like feeling super guilty for like not doing work. Like we were just enjoying ourselves, but what I realized is that we made all these connections with all these people, like have a list of names, and we've just said what we do, and they were like, oh cool, I want to do that. And then we followed up with some of them, and like now they want to sign up, and I was like, oh yeah, true, it's all about making connections and relationships with people, and that's exactly what we did, and that's the business, you know. So yeah, sweet. Well, sick.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's funny how, like, when you do the thing that you actually love and you live that life that, you know, where you're just on purpose and in flow, that you just meet and connect with people and they happen to ask you what you're doing. And when you're living that cool lifestyle and you're surfing and you're living in a van and traveling through the States, I think that attracts a lot of people, and they'll at least have a look. Thanks, Rach. You guys are legends. I really appreciate you sharing that. But what we're going to do, yeah, awesome to see you guys again as well. I'll have a chat with you later this week. But awesome. We've got the Lovies to finish off, and we'll see if we can finish this off with some power-packed energy from these guys. And I take it there's going to be a little bit of simplicity as well. So I'm just going to unmute you guys and fire away.
Nothing but the simplest, mate. Firstly, I just want to shout out to Reese and Rachel. I don't know if anyone else can see the new energy in these guys, but that was absolutely epic and super fluent, and looks like Celebration has definitely got them firing. So we had a good fun with them as well. Look, I've only got the one tip, and we just had a bit of a team call before with our crew earlier, and the common thing that seems to be coming up, and it came up again at the event on the weekend with Al Hilsinger, and that's about doing the do. It was coming up a lot in America that we're putting a lot of energy into so many different pages and so many different groups and so many different podcasts, and we're really confusing ourselves a lot. And I know that we can back that up ourselves with not knowing what direction to take. And the leaders, especially the women, Susan, Sly, those types of ladies in America, they actually got up and they were almost fired up, and they were just like, stop doing too much, go out and talk to people and build like that. And it was really, really simple. Al did it on the weekend. How many people in this room have got their master list on them? I think 3 people put their hand up in a room of 250, and we're guilty for that as well, for not having a full-out master list that we've written over 2.5 years. It's crazy. Laura's got hers charging now, and we're trying to do it as well, and it's ridiculous. Like we've let so much confuse us and steer us off the basic path. We have the most easy business in the world. Talk to people, connect with people, then enroll people. But we just keep getting caught up on what should our social media look like? What people should we talk to? What should we teach everybody else? That's all we've got to do. And I know for Rhea and I, when our business was at full flight, we hit 2-star. We didn't even know we hit it because we were literally just doing the things we loved. We were skating, we were having fun, and the business just was super fluent for us. We hit 1 and 2-star, and we got an email about it. We didn't even know that it had happened, and we actually didn't really know what 1 and 2-star meant, to be honest. So our business started getting a little bit hard and confusing when we overanalyzed it. And for me, that was the number one thing that showed up for me in America, coming from the best of the best, the people that we look up to the most. So yeah, that was my one takeaway from it, because honestly, I don't want to confuse people anymore just because we've been confused. It's so simple. So I hope that helps.
Less is more, man. That's awesome. Take it away, Ree. What do you got to add?
So awesome. Aren't we just so blessed to hear from all of these incredible humans with all of this amazing energy? It's so great to hear, and it's just amazing. And I'm so glad that there's been a few of you who were able to jump on that live stream, even if you weren't there in person. As you know, being at events, there's just an electrifying energy that is created by that many like-minded people in the room. But to be able to glean from even the live stream or from what we're sharing now, that's awesome. So look, I'll add a few more things. There have been some things covered, and you know, following on from Lovey, I don't even know if I want to add anything else now, but I will, because there's still some really great things and a couple of little nuggets that people, I'm sure, can take away. So Zach Slobin, for those of you guys who know Zach and Eden, Start 1000, Start Ambassadors, absolute guns. Like they're incredible. And Zach, particularly with his social media training, and he's so amazing. He got up on stage and he's like, I can just tell you guys one thing that can turn your business around. And he just talked about the one thing for social media was Facebook Lives. And even saying that, I can only imagine there'll be a few of you that are like, sinking down in your chairs going, oh no, I'll post 5 times, I'll post 10 times. And he's like, no, don't do it.
go to the Facebook Live. So that was awesome to hear that. And he did obviously go into some Facebook Lives, do's and don'ts and that sort of thing. But essentially, it is just about getting on there, because it's like having an open living room conversation with people. So, really encourage, if you guys haven't got onto that, start with just one a week. Just plan out one a week, and even interview someone, like have someone on with you where you're doing interview style, or, make it fun.
And just to elaborate on that a little bit more, they break the algorithm, which I think we've shared on before. They get a lot more views. And work as a team, guys. Share your team's lives, because then they get even bigger reaches. So if you're really wise about it, always share your team's lives, because that's your business as well. That's really going to help your business get more reach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Susan Sly, another lady crush, powerhouse. She's amazing. I loved, and Joe touched on this, but Susan really spoke about going executive again and again. And like Joe was talking about, that's what leaders do. If you're going with your team, and if you're moving together and creating that momentum together, then that's what you do together. And she just said that that's what she was told to do at the start. So that's what she took on board, and decided that, she was going to make that, part of her intention. Lisa DeMeo, she was talking about, and it was similar to what Dim was talking about with Tony Robbins, about changing your state. So Lisa talked about choosing above the line. So she said, characteristics above the line are loving, trusting, happy, like all of those positive things. And then below the line is where you start to get angry, frustrated, annoyed, compare. And she said, it can change all the time, but when you slip below the line and you register that you're there, it's just a choice. And she said, you turn to gratitude, you say something out loud that you're grateful for, so to get you back above the line. And she said, it's as simple as that. That would be her one tool to take away. Zach, Facebook Lives, Susan, go executive with your team, Lisa, choose above the line. Then Michael Klaus was talking about the concept of the second 8 hours. So some of you may have heard this on one of his podcasts before, but basically if you look at your day, you block out 8 hours of it for sleep, and this is give or take, but essentially an 8 hour block is blocked out because it's for sleep. The next 8 hours is blocked out for a lot of people who are doing full-time work, which means that you've only got that's second 8 hours, he called it, because it's like first 8 out for sleep, the second 8 out for work. The second 8 hours are those 8 hours where it's like that time between sleep and work, or between work and sleep, or anywhere in between, where you can be making those connections. And I love that. And it's been a common theme that we've seen recently. It's like you actually do want to draw busy people into your life, because they seem to be more organized and they can manage their time better. So you're more productive in that time as well. So that's what he recommended. And then to finish off with, of course, Tony Robbins, like that 4 hours completely blew my head off. Like that was just insane. It was just amazing. And I couldn't believe that it was 4 hours either. Like it felt like it was so much more, but so much was covered. So essentially what he was talking about was about how execution is the real power. And to gain that real power, it's looking at what you focus on, what your action is, so all out massive action from what you focus on, and then having the grace as you do that. So those were a few points with his execution. Obviously there's just so much more, and I know was it Tim that covered that really incredible part of just that one thing to change your state and to live in that beautiful state. But I really loved how he acknowledged that execution, it does come down to that. It is key, with our success and with our business. So Yeah, Sarah totally exploded my head right off. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, lovies. And yeah, guys, we've just ticked over 7 p.m. and that was just like power packed. You know, like Joe, Dim, you know, Reese, Rach, and the lovies finishing off with the simplicity and like everything from Tony Robbins to Lisa DeMayo to Zach and Eden Slobin. There is so many nuggets in there, and you know, I've been doing this for 3 to 4 years now and seen all those people in person as well. And you hear it over and over and over again. And I think what you said at the end there, Ree, and also Lovey, was that the power is in the execution, and the power is also in, you know, moving with your team as well. So we're part of there's a 90-day game plan going on the back of Vegas Celebration. Guard your energy, guard your focus, and go have fun with it. Next week we have, I believe, Sarah is going to be hosting, and we're going to get some awesome speakers on. And if any of the leaders as well, if you want to line up someone that you would love to bring to this space and share the energy with your team, then feel free to message either myself or Mylene, and she'll go and organize it for you. Just the last thing before you shoot off is, if you want to show some love to the guys that have shared tonight, just light up the chat box. And also, if you want to share any nuggets, I've just copied and pasted the chat box into the BFree page here underneath the BFree Monday, August 28th. So if you want to keep the conversation going there, just feel free to comment away, ask questions. If you need links to things, let's just keep things going. That's it for me, guys. Anything from anyone before we shoot off, or should we end it there? No questions. Yeah, Lockie,
just quickly,
shoot away, bud.
Yeah, good luck to Alice for, is it this week, Al?
2 or 3 days, maybe.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
We're praying for you.
Look at this.
Oh!
She's ready.
Cooked.
Mama.
Yeah. Sending
Thanks,
some love
guys.
your way, Al.
Thanks. Awesome shares tonight too, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah, awesome. Really on point, powerful. Thank you.
Good to see you, Says, Kozak, Krish, Courtney, Rach, Mandy. See you later, guys. See you all next week and see you in the pages.
See you in Brisbane.
SKO coming up, guys. That's the next one.
Yeah.